Still a baby goat, I'm making business moves. All these hunters got my fingers looking Nipsey blue. It be the people clapping for me, trying to kill me too. Just last year, I was saving up for Balenci shoes. Jewelry never stainless. Neighborhood is dangerous. System want to murder our people and try to blame us. Grew up in the jungle with killers, dealers, and gangsters. And if I heard his beef, I don't give a damn if I'm famous. My name, of course, is Young Devyn. I'm a 19-year-old artist from Brooklyn, New York. I rep Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know. I'm just a fun, everyday girl. I feel like I relate to a lot of teenagers, a lot of girls my age from New York, and just being an urban kid in general. Like, we all go through the same things, and I make sure my music reflects that. And, I think that's what resonates with people the most,
When you were 8, that you started composing and singing, recording soca music, and performing and selling out your own shows, and touring with different soca music legends. So do you remember any of that, Young Devyn?
Yeah, of course. It sometimes feels like yesterday when I watch some of the videos. Like, it's like, wow, I can't believe it was so long ago, because it sometimes feels just like, I was just a little girl the other day. Of course, I remember, just being around the atmosphere, the energy. It was all new to me, and I always used to make sure that I was like a sponge to it all. So, like, a lot of the things that I do now, even the way how I write my music, these are methods and ways that I learned when I was 8 years old that I still use now at 19. So, of course, yeah, like, I always make sure it's in the back of my head.
That's dope. I mean, as you're still so very young, so
right.
8 years old doesn't seem like that long ago, but I'm curious about, like, what are your strongest memories of putting yourself in this music industry the way that you have and taking it seriously?
I think some of my strongest memories probably was like me touring, like, just like I said, it's always reaction for me. I feel like those are the more memorable moments, like, because you could be on the internet and you could be making songs and people comment on Instagram and they love you, but when it's like real life interaction, you're really seeing how people react to you, and how your presence alone could impact somebody else's. Like, that's really like a mind-boggling thing, like to be 11, 10 years old being chased by like hundreds of kids and those types of things. It might not resonate with you at that age because I'm so young, but it's like, looking back, it's just like, wow, like I really do have an impact on people's lives. So
yeah, that's dope. I mean, I love that. And I know you call yourself the baby goat.
This is Baby Goat. I'm not
greatest of all time. And there's a lot of different folks that consider themselves the GOAT, and people that we consider to be the GOAT when we're considering the greatest of all time, especially when we're talking about music and hip hop for sure.
Right.
But I think it was even just today that I saw our girl Simone Biles. She was there was a picture of her and they did a close-up on her shoulder, and she had a goat in the form of like some diamonds on her uniform. And Simone has been out here breaking records for Black gymnasts, for gymnastics, but for Black gymnasts, just really making moves and making waves. And there's something so special about a young Black girl like yourself, like Simone, who calls themselves the GOAT and believes that about themselves. So can you explain to the people why young Black girls need to believe in themselves in that way?
Yeah, I definitely think that you should. Like, I see a lot of people like, oh, why does she call herself the GOAT, or what has she done to be like a GOAT? One, people, that means that, it goes over everybody's heads, because I'm saying baby GOAT, meaning I'm not the GOAT yet, but I have a lot of work to do to get there, But two, it's just because it's like, why not? Why not have confidence? Like, why do you have to humble yourself down to appease somebody else? And as an overall human, I always tell my fans to be humble, and because that's going to take you way further than the next person. But at the same time, don't ever try to dilute your confidence for anybody. Like, if somebody's not confident in themselves, that has nothing to do with you. Like, don't let their negative energy, overshadow what you got going on. So I feel like a lot of young Black girls should call themselves like the greatest of all time, like the greatest at anything that they do, Like, I feel like just overall where we come from and the history of that alone, it shows that like we've been through so much and still was able to, become entrepreneurs, millionaires, billionaires, and all these different things. So why not, consider us the greatest and just live in that?
I know that's right. You well on your way, Miss Greatest. I see it. I feel the energy. That's one of the things I love about you. You have the energy that matches your talent. And that is not an easy thing to keep up with, especially because you are so talented. And it's not easy to be an artist out here and to have that stamina. And you seem to be comfortable in this industry.
Yeah. Yeah, I am not really comfortable, but just in the sense of I know this is my calling, and I know that I'm supposed to be here. So I'm not gonna let anyone, anything try to defer me or tell me otherwise.
Right. That's it. Well, what do you think about yourself as an artist whenever you think about the music that you're creating? Because you have so many cultural influences, what kind of artist would you call yourself beyond hip hop, beyond rap, beyond R&B?
Well, yeah, that's why I always just call myself an artist, because, you know, it would be doing me an injustice to say I'm just a rapper or I'm just a singer, or I could just do hip hop, or I could just do Caribbean music. Like, I do a lot of different lanes. I explore new different things about myself, my writing, my sound. So, you know, I just always call myself just an artist. I like to create whatever vibe I'm feeling, whatever I'm inspired by, I'll move on it. I never feel like I'm too good to do something, or I feel like I'm too hood to do something, or I'm too Caribbean to do something. I know, like, I always love taking, you know, chances, especially when it comes to like my sound and just discovering new things about me.
Remember, I don't need no relationship. I just want some entanglements. Is it something you can handle? So baby, let me entangle.
I mean, I know you are pretty decent with freestyling, right? Like you're pretty good. I know people be putting you on the spot, but I would love for you to give a freestyle in the sense of like the conversation we were having about young Black girls believing in themselves.
Okay, let me see what I can say. Still a baby, gonna making business moves. All these hundreds got my fingers looking Nipsey blue. And be the people clapping for me, trying to kill me too. Just last year, I was saving up for Balenci shoes. Jewelry never stainless. Neighborhood is dangerous. System wanna murder our people and try to blame us. Grew up in the jungle with killers, dealers, and gangsters. And if I heard his beef, I don't give a damn if I'm famous.
Come on, Young Devyn, baby, go! I love it. Girl, how in the world does your brain work like that?
Well, you know, sometimes like I always make sure that I'm always like writing. So I always have stuff prepared. But when you write so much, it becomes muscle memory, because rapping is like a sport. So it's like the more you exercise and the more you practice at it, your brain is gonna start working like a muscle. So what happened was I just kept pushing my pen, and now it's like my brain could rhyme words, or if I'm saying something, I could just freestyle and have fun with it, because my brain is so used to trying to find different things to rhyme and put together.
Girl, that is crazy. A lot of rappers do pride themselves on that ability to have that type of brain to be able to do that, but not a lot of people are able to. I would be like, I don't know what comes next.
Yeah, it's really practice. It's really practice.
Golly. Well, say, okay, so if you were gonna tell somebody how can they get good at it, right? Like obviously practice, but like, what are some of the like tools that you would use to help them work on either their freestyle or just their performance?
When it comes to your performance, I always tell people you got to make sure that you're doing something that captivates the crowd. Like when you're going on the stage, you got to command the audience. Like when it's like thousands of people versus you got to do something that's going to make people listen to you. It's 1,000 of them versus you. So they could easily just not pay you any attention or laugh you off the stage or do whatever. Like you got to let them know, and you got to have a certain type of assertiveness, not something that turns people off per se, but just an assertiveness that knows like, okay, she's serious or he's serious. And, you know, let's pay attention and see what's going on. That way, once you have that command, they'll be able to react and you can tell them what to do. And, you know, just when it comes to like writing, I always tell people, push your pen. Like, it's like really a sport. It's really something you got to exercise and just keep doing. You don't got to do it every single day or write a whole 16, 32 bar verse every single day, but just pushing your pen and finding different flows, different unique ways to say certain things just to catch people's attention and make you sound different from the rest.
Yeah. I mean, you've always been inspired and influenced by music. So it was probably like, of course she's going to end up doing this. But do you remember the moment where you were like, oh, nah, I want this?
Yeah, I think it was after I performed, because I was getting booked for shows, but I wasn't taking it serious. I was like 7, so I didn't really know what was going on. I just found myself pulling up to different places and singing. And then when I started getting the hang of it and realized I'm like, okay, I'm doing shows. Like then I think it was for Labor Day when I performed with Masha Montano, and I just seen the crowd. I think that was like the biggest crowd I performed at that point, you know, because I had started singing probably like that May. So by that September, I was performing it for like 5,000 people with my show. And that's kind of when I was like, okay, like this is something I think is, you know, fun that I could do. And then when it came to rapping, it was like when I went viral, the first time I got like 3 million views in a couple of days. That's when I realized like, okay, I should take the rapping thing serious too.
You got something, right?
I'm beneficial, my circle is beneficial. They can never pull my cards, really ain't dealing with you suckers. Man, I can't tell if you a gangster or undercover. When I was freezing in my basement, you was undercover. Man, I'm so poppin', I can take care of my mother's mother.
Well, I mean, when it comes to this, it's very easy to get caught up in this in the sense of like, so many people are trying to chase music or chase a rap career specifically, and they just want to do it for the money, and they just want to do it for the fame and all of this. And nothing, I was gonna say nothing is wrong with that. There should be more to it than that, I think.
It definitely should be more to it than that, because this industry comes with a lot, and I just feel like if it's not something that's your passion, you could definitely get lost in it, because you will start losing what was the point of it all. Like, I feel like sometimes you got to really remind yourself, remember that. Like, even nowadays, like now that everything's picking up for me and so many different things are coming at me fast, like sometimes I find myself getting caught up, and I always have to just have those moments where I take a step back and just remember myself why I came to do it, you know, like no matter what comes my way, or no matter how much fame or no matter how much hype, like I always just remind myself. So I don't know how people just be doing it for money, because that means you'll be doing any type of thing in this industry for money, and that's crazy.
Right. See, Baby Go has integrity. She got standards. Right. And see, that's what makes you different too, because I feel the hunger and I feel the passion, but I do not feel desperation.
Right.
Or the willingness to do whatever.
Exactly. And I always try to tell people that, like, it's a way that you can go about it, but it's just all in your confidence. Like, once you're confident and you know what you want in this game, what you want in this life, and you stand firm in it, nobody could really move you from it. And when people realize that about you, they're not even going to try. Like, of course, there's going to be people that try to throw you off your game, but once you just stand firm in that, it's never going to come off as you being desperate. And it's really a difference between, because a lot of people, it's either they feel like they're coming off too desperate or they feel like they're coming off too cocky, you know, like it's really just the in the middle of knowing your worth, but at the same time, not selling your soul for it. So
that part is the major key, because I think that people get very lost and think that that's what they have to do. I mean, it's like a running joke, right? When it Illuminati and oh, she must have sold her soul and all this and that. So it's really interesting, because people still really do believe that that's the way that they have to go, and it's definitely not that.
Nah, yeah, no,
not that anymore.
I'm blessed up. I'm prayed up.
Amen. Now, I want to ask you, because of your age, I'm sure that there's a lot of folks that, you know, just maybe they misunderstand you, or they think that, you know, a certain thing about you that isn't true just because you're young. What are some of the experiences that you've had as someone this young that has been like, you know, kind of like, well, dang, why y'all got to do me like that?
Well, that more so really was happening like when I first started doing music, like when I was like 7. Of course, it was confusing for everybody to see an 8-year-old walking in a club at 2:30 in the morning. But it's like by the end of the performance, it's like, we understand why you was here at 2:30 in the morning. So, you know, at first in the beginning, yeah. But once everybody got the memo, it was like everybody already knew, okay, Devyn is gonna be here, like she's gonna perform. But when it came to like hip hop and rapping, I never took my age as like a thing that I would hold against me. Like I always looked at it as an ammunition to keep going. Like anything that people ever tried to use against me, I always flipped it back. Like when I was young and I first started rapping, let's say somebody would have said I was like too young. I did like a verse on Sway, and I'm like, they fronting on me because I'm 16, body in these 16s. Like I just always flipped it, and it actually was my most memorable line for that year. Like that was like a viral line, and I was hearing like a couple of other people use it too. So, you know, I just always made sure I capitalized over anything of that sort. And I never really look at myself in the sense of like a certain age bracket or a certain gender. Like I don't look at myself like a teenage rapper, or I don't look at myself like a female rapper. Like I just look at myself as an artist. And I think that when you look beyond that for yourself, people are not even gonna say that for you. Like if I don't say I'm a female rapper, people are not gonna categorize me as that. Of course, in a general consensus, of course, but when you like putting people head to head, like I see people compare me to a lot of like male rappers in my city, because I don't ever try to just put the whole female rapper thing on my head, you know?
Yeah, and nothing's wrong with that, but I understand what you're saying, that it limits people in the way that they even think of you.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I love that though. You got the talent to stand up against, because it is a male-dominated industry, and specifically genre of music is male-dominated. So it's nice to see that you're like, nah, I got a strategy. I got a strategy. Well, also with your age, I was thinking about the way that the people before us have, and we continue to have to fight for our rights, especially when you think about civil rights leaders of the past, where they were your age in the height of their fight, or even some of them at the time of their deaths, fighting for us. Right. I wonder how that inspires you, because I don't think that we need to think of people in their youth and think that they are not able to do something. It's obvious that like 20-year-olds can change the world and have. So
and I mean, with this day and age, especially with social media, there's so much young entrepreneurs now. Like, I feel like I'm really inspired. Like, everybody's winning. Everybody has a business. Everybody's just doing something. Or like, everybody's just in their own little world, that everybody has a plan. Like, even if they're not doing something in the moment, I feel like this generation, we're very planned out and very like entrepreneur, oriented and really business oriented. And I actually love it. And I think, of course, social media has a lot to do with it, because when you're seeing other people on the internet, it inspires you. It gives you ideas. It's like a boiling pot and a melting pot to connect with so many different people, build brands. Like, you're seeing people become millionaires off of TikTok, videos they're making in their homes. But I think that, when it comes to like age, kids are super innovative. I feel like the younger you are, the more creative you are, and the more innovative you are, because your brain is so exposed to the world in such an unjaded way. So I actually feel like, the youth and teens and people my age, we're super dope, we're super strong, we have super, great ideas, and we might not execute it the right way. We shit all the time, but that's all a part of growing up. But I feel like we definitely have a lot to offer. I
love that. And you do. I'm excited to see what's coming for you and what's next and what you have up them sleeves, because I know it's a lot of stuff. So without asking what's next and all of that, what is it that you want from this career of yours?
Well, number one, I definitely just want to inspire a lot of people and show people around the world that you could do it. Like, people think all the time when you look at like artists, it's like a 1 in a million thing, but you still have to remember it's 1 in a million. Like, it could have been my next door neighbor who would have, made it and was rapping. Like, it could have been somebody in my household that could have been the one to do it. It's like, why me? And it's like, I was never going to know that until I tried. And so I just always tell people, just keep going, and, whatever dream and passion you have, do it. Like, God doesn't give you anything or give you any dreams or any abilities that wasn't meant for you. Like, my music is like a God-given talent. I never just think that I just woke up and I'm nice. Like, no, I know for a fact that it's a talent that God gave me. And, he will just use me as a vessel in the world. And my calling just so happened to be through music. And I feel like everybody has a calling, and you don't necessarily have to find what it is now, but as long as you're just going about your life the right way, that's kind of the story that I want to leave, to just show kids that like, you could do it. Like, turning my family from a regular immigrant family from Trinidad, and, just coming to America to start a new life, and just breaking that curse and having generational wealth. And my grandkids and my great grandkids, they'll be able to walk into rooms that they don't even have to worry about, just off of their last name, because of the hard work that I put down. Those are the type of things that I want to instill in like kids of my age in a community. So, as much as I could do that through my music or whatever, then I'll keep doing it.
I love it. I love it. What is the music that they need to check out, Young Devyn? What's the Young Devyn starter kit playlist?
Yes, well, we got straight to it. We got Act Bad. We got the EP that's coming out. I'm super excited about that. We've been working really hard on it. Even on now before this interview, like, we still been working on it. I got a whole Zoom about it afterwards. So yeah, we're working hard. It's actually finished. We just getting like the final touches, but it's done. I can't wait to announce it.
We are so excited for you, sis. I'm just so proud to see how ready you are for this.
Thank you.
Yes, Queen. So we'll be in touch, and I will definitely,
of course,
just be rooting for you on the side, sis. Tell your mama I said hey.
I will.
Great to see you, Devyn.
Thank you.